Well, that was a doozy.
On Tubi, the 90s sitcoms where the zany neighbor from across the hall always gets the biggest laughs, just keep going.
With other workout devices, there's no easy way to hydrate. But now there's the Chest Blaster by Liquid Death. It may look just like a can of Liquid Death, but the Chest Blaster harnesses the power of hydrodynamic inertia to sculpt, tone, and completely hydrate in a fraction of the time of other devices.
Well, good afternoon / evening, everybody. And welcome back to I Cast Wish, where either A, Inaya and I end up talking shop about game and things of that nature, or B, you guys ask us questions and we answer them for you.
Yep.
As we currently don't have any real announcements going on other than we are still sans Pudgy and muddling through, and that's just meh.
We missed the Pudge.
Yeah. The cat has gone berserk about it. I'm not losing my mind, but I really miss having my roommate around. But anyway, so before we flipped the thingy, we had side-railed ourselves away from some conversations. Anybody who is not up to date on our stream, oh, there's a Pudgy.
Hi, Pudgy.
Where's the host with the most? Well, our host with the most is currently abducted to West Virginia until January 10th, man, and we miss you.
Yeah. But yay, Pudgy's watching.
But yeah, like, there will totally be spoilers. Because
It's Game Shop Day.
well, yeah, it's kind of a game shop day, and because, well, Inaya's been cursing me for almost a week now.
Well, Kalora's been cursing you, and Naya's been doing the oh my god, that's amazing dance. 12th.
January 12th. Thank you.
We cannot wait to have you back.
Yeah. You and I need to get together and, like, figure out a way to figure out what's going on with your character, because I know what's going on, but we need to roleplay through some stuff, so we'll figure that out.
Yes.
Even if it's just one-on-one over the phone. I know you aren't going to lie about your dice rolls. You revel in your natural ones as much as I do. It's gotten to the point where we all just say we're number one now.
Right? Boop, boop, boop. Milky!
Oh, he can see the cat. Yes, she has been incorrigible without you around. She's missing half of her pets, man.
Right?
And a much larger amount of her treats, because I know you've been spoiling her.
Yeah, pretty kitty.
But, yeah, like, I feel confident enough in my original, like, main on Final Fantasy XIV that I'm okay with broadcasting stuff on him now.
That's great.
I mean, come on, you gotta give me props. I have a white rabbit that I can put in a blue waistcoat and breeches with a monocle named Nivel McTwist.
I love that so much.
Yeah, you do know what the white rabbit's name is from Alice in Wonderland, right? And because of the way that the game works, on the Midgar Zormer server, there's only one Nivel McTwist. It's mine. I'm the white rabbit.
Yeah, we try to be tech-free, but I like reading your comments, Pudgy. BRB is Sarah break.
Totally feel that. You can have it. Not going anywhere. Join.
Yep. But it... Man, this last week's session was just...
I tried.
You succeeded. You succeeded. And I've got one more week of your game, and then it's back to Illinois. Or rather, on Defender Seer.
Oh yeah, we were gonna Sesh Zero that.
Yeah. I will say that we will be doing a full session 0 because the world building I did for Fenrisir before and after the explosion, it's dark.
Oh, that's all right. You all are gonna have fun because once a month, you're gonna have me with a Bronx accent, sounding like I smoked way too many cigarettes, whooping the living piss out of people. Because I decided exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to play a goblin, start them as a monk,
I love that so much.
and then go barbarian.
I love that so much.
Fury of the Small plus Key Strikes plus Barbarian Arg. And the worst of it is, I'm just gonna go straight old school Rage Barbarian.
I love that.
Relentless face breaking.
Yep. The last session, man, that carrot you dangled in front of Kalora. I suddenly feel very, very small.
You told me I was gonna be hard pressed. And I looked at you and said, challenge accepted.
And I love it. I love it. By all means, if it furthers the story in a cool way like that, railroad my character.
Railroad nothing. See, railroading involves the tracks. See, I tried her to the front of the bullet train as the new bug catcher. You know, open mouth, ball gag, and all.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no.
200-mile-an-hour mosquito. Oh, yeah, by the way, that I am still dealing with. I don't know if you caught it on the second part to the Final Fantasy broadcast, but I was breathing in and a mosquito went up my right nostril.
Oh, I didn't see that, but I will go find it and clip it.
Now, as a result, I have a mosquito bite, like, inside right here.
No. Oh. Most interesting thing that happened to me this week was that my nose jewelry caught on some blanket. And woke me up with a fucking quickness.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, like, you've got a lot to look forward to with what that's going to do. And it's actually more that it's furthering my plot lines and things that I want to see how long I can let it'll get left to slide before somebody catches on.
Oh yeah, I mean, as a player and a note taker, I'm sitting here going, you bastard, you bastard. But Kalora, as Kalora, is going, that bastard, that bastard, that bastard, in a completely different sense.
Yeah, at this point I think that Kalora's probably cursing Thanatos, considering that they've probably offered thousands of times to give the god anything they wanted to return their loved ones.
Literally anything.
Including themselves, more than likely.
Yeah, there was a point in Kalora's backstory where an offer of oath binding was made and no answer came.
Well, you see, you weren't established in the world then. Now you've got a little bit of clout. You got the attention of some things bigger than you. And you have an indomitable amount of gar. So...
And there is not a page in any book that Kalora will not turn to restore her family.
Yeah, and I knew that as a DM and totally metagamed the crap out of it because it made a really great story hook.
Oh my god, yes. And as a player, I play for the love of the game, not for the power dynamic of being the big bad hero.
Well, that's a good thing because the fact is that no matter how big, no matter how bad, no matter how awesome a character is, no matter how high their level gets, a good DM knows how to build a fuck you button.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say build a fuck you button, I mean no matter how big, bad, beefy your character is, If a DM knows their party, has been paying attention to how their players are playing, is actually getting to know their table, you can totally build something bigger, badder, and meaner. DMs have done it to me before. I love it when it happens. As long as it's not just I'm going to thumb of God you. The fact is that God does not need to reach down and drop this monster that's going to make you feel like somebody just went and you had no chance in the first place. There's a reason why trying to pick a fight with the white woman got you told, I'll wait until you're not ripe yet. You're a waste of my time. I can't eat you. It's because of what she eats and what she hoards. Because for anybody who's been speculating and isn't actually sure, the white woman is a polymorphed version of the big bad evil. Because any dragon that old can definitely shape-shift at will.
Yeah.
Actually, this one can. Not all legendary dragons can. This one that's in their legendary actions is at will ship polymorph. Greater polymorph at that. Which means all the special abilities.
Nice.
Not really.
I mean, for her.
She is a dragon.
Yeah, no, Kalora's arc is going really interestingly. I mean, I'm still on the table of, I don't know if she's going to survive to see her family restored. I don't know.
I can tell you that Wisp's arc, with him wandering off under the influence of his mask and his pact, and not saying much but eating briefly, and that's how I had exited him for this hiatus of the Pudgy. Yes, I'm pouting. Sue me.
We just established that there's going to be a new ailment.
Yeah, I'll try to destroy this one too, I promise. That's what you tell me to do every time.
Mm-hmm.
Good news is I'm not playing a highly intelligent character. This time I'm going to be more Dex Constitution based.
Nice.
Well, Dex Constitution Strength.
Well, there's nothing better than being able to put a sticker on a module that says rigorously play tested.
What do you mean by rigorously play tested? I know a guy. Girl. Person. I know a person.
Right? At this point, I know several people.
And they like tearing into games and seeing if it has holes.
Right.
We're MMO players. We're RPG players. We don't use the exploits. Like, call me old-fashioned and old school, but do you know that I have not yet looked at a walkthrough for Starfield or Baldur's Gate?
Nice.
I refuse.
I've looked at a couple.
My Naked Monk run is going really well. I can't put my Naked Monk run out here. I've mentioned that I'm going to be giving you guys some Final Fantasy because my Naked Monk run is awesome and fun, but apparently YouTube has a problem with full frontal nudity and sex.
Yep.
And trust me, the Naked Monk run is totally a sex and violence scenario with Shadowheart as the primary thump.
Shadowheart's amazing. I was paranoid ever in my first playthrough.
Oh, but have you told Volo to help you? Have you had Volo do the research yet at your camp? Have you let him pop your eyeball out yet?
No, but it is in the plans.
As fast as you can because it's the invisible constant.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually changes your character's eye color.
Yep. No, there is the intention that that is going to happen.
Since I found out that works.
But one of my characters has like 7 worms in her brain now.
I've got like 2 in each just for the backlash, and I'm going to hold the rest of the worms.
I have one playthrough where every time I get one, I'm like, yep!
Drugs.
But my god, is that character overpowered? Just so much douche.
See, and that's where I think that they actually messed up with the design. Of course they could have took us to level 20. They technically did with all those mind flare powers.
Mm-hmm.
They should have encouraged us to use them less, but I think it's what I haven't beaten the game yet, so don't tell me if I'm wrong, but I think it's a good idea to avoid them.
I mean, in any case,
You're putting mind flare tadpoles in your head on
Yeah.
purpose.
yeah. I mean, having a couple is really useful in the later part of Act 2.
I could buy that. I mean, right now I'm in the Gaith with my naked monk. And Lae'zel. And Karnak. And Shadowheart.
What do you think of Karlach?
Karlach? I actually managed to get her and Will.
Yeah, you can get both. Easy.
And got them to get along.
Uh-huh. That's like bare minimum conversation.
Yeah. Got them to like each other, though. That's the weird part.
Yeah. Yeah, that's happened in every playthrough that I've had both of them for.
Wonder what happens if you just kill one.
I mean, I've killed Karlach in one, and the interaction with Mizora goes very differently.
No, I'm thinking about killing Will.
I haven't tried it.
I'm thinking about killing Will because he sold his soul to a fiend that puts him on the opposing side of the fence in my mind. So I'm thinking, like, build a paladin and go through kill Will.
Yes.
It's like, wait, hold on, you made a deal with a what? Die.
Yep. And I've
Watches Lae'zel goes, oh baby.
I've gone back a couple of times in my first, like, my practice playthrough with Baldur's Gate, and I've done things like I went and killed the Paladins of Tyr before I went and got Karlach. And she gets really excited, but you don't nearly get the relationship level you do by taking her to handle it. And you don't get to see her have a big old rage fit.
But her rage fit where she tears apart everything is the best part.
Right? That was so adorable.
But, I have discovered that my monk is level 6 now, still not wearing any armor. Wearing gloves because they have something going good for them.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't even used the vampire. I've been using the monk to pick all the locks.
That's great. That's great.
Without proficiency in sleight of hand.
Nice. Astarion gets some fuck yeah bonuses to lockpicking.
Yeah, it's just wrong. Just no.
It's like, Astarion, open that door for me. Okay.
See, and that's where the game balance in my mind is wrong. Like, they're right. If you let them go to level 20 the way that they did that, it's going to break the game. We all know that level 20 D&D characters are broken.
Uh-huh.
The fact of the matter is that DMs who know how to write campaigns for level 20 plus characters...
They expounded on that, by the way. They're worried about spells like Plane Shift.
just don't put it in.
That was my opinion. It's like, yes, it can be 5e based. You don't have to give us every spell. Yes, Plane Shift would break everything.
Unless you are going to make a 40 terabyte game.
Right.
Well, no, 4. You might be able to do it 1.5. I mean, with a floating hub and kind of MMOing it. Actually, that would work.
Yeah.
You could MMO Dungeons and Dragons and just put the world in the books out there. Need material? Buy up everything in the GM's Guild. Offer royalties.
Heck, I'd sell Aylwood in a fucking heartbeat.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. For 0.5% or for a 1% of the people who visit my world, gratuity, and a lifetime subscription,
Mm-hmm.
I'd let them use Nox. And I would help them flesh out every fucked off, backwoods, gory little detail. And I'd let them start the world prior to the cataclysm.
Mm-hmm.
And give them all the versions so that they could have all the timelines. Because if you're going to plane shift, it's actually time and space.
Like, I've got the mechanics for the physical changes that happen if you get yourself into any kind of pact with Ahsoka.
I have not yet begun to exact that upon Wisp. Y'all gon' freak. I converted something from Pathfinder for his because the games are compatible.
Yep.
So I totally his particular the thing that provides his pact as a hexblade, I converted and modified and homebrewed from Pathfinder.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like I modified and converted and spliced some things from 2nd edition for the current Big Bad. Do you have any idea how hard it is to convert Thaco? Let's just put it this way. For another 5 levels, even Kalora with all their might, in the middle of that blood rage, would have to roll a 19 or better. No, actually, they would have to nat 20
Yep.
in order to even hit that Big Bad. Polymorphed as a human, you're really not going to like it if you hit her. Because, yeah, you're totally going to kill that form.
Mm-hmm.
And thus break the spell instantly. If you're in an enclosed space, that is how polymorph works. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the part everybody forgets. Well, I polymorphed them into a mouse. Now I'm going to put them in an adamantine cage. Now I'm going to prick my finger and break my concentration. And this is why I am switching over to playing a martial character versus a caster.
And I've had fun playing Kalora as a non-caster.
Honestly, everybody else likes playing Magic right now, so I'm gonna try and balance it out. Because without somebody who does something other than magical damage, it turns out that a DM can just run roughshod over a party and vice versa.
Yep. There's room and probability for Kalora to become a caster, definitely at this point. But I have enjoyed practicing using a non-caster.
I'm waiting to see how this Dromite Artificer of Chris's will work out with the new...
Mm-hmm. Definitely curious to see how it plays.
Yeah, I mean, the Dromites look like Vivi from Final Fantasy IX. You know, the little black maid?
Uh-huh.
Like, they look like that, right down to the shadowy figure with the glowing eyes. Or like that one thing from, I think it was He-Man, with this zero in the middle of the court wizard with the zero in the middle of his forehead, all like shadows and shit. Yeah, like that.
Yeep.
I don't get it. Like, then again, I can't say too much. I'm gonna play Goblin.
Yep.
What kind of Goblin? Oh, and I'm not going to give away any of the other pertinent things. Like, I'm not going to tell you I'm good or evil.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to tell you, I'm just not going to tell anybody else. Online or offline, there shall be no evidence.
No, the new Alewood is starting on the other side of Fenris here at the tip of the fan.
Boy.
Which was Ahsoka's entry point for her will-o-wisps. That's where they walked onto the beach from the vision that you'd had earlier. So this is right at the beginning of the Civil War of Man. Which, by the way, canonically lasted 6 weeks.
The Civil War of Man lasted 6 weeks in canon.
Mm-hmm. And destroyed the entire planet.
Those humans sucked.
This Ichor is terrifying. Because the primary effect is that it creates an immediate, irresistible hostility towards the nearest thing to you. Normally, if you've had it on you for 30 minutes, you're covered in the shit. So, in a matter of hours, hundreds and hundreds of people are hostile until dead or disabled.
So it's like Zombie Survivor, web meets don't touch the lava. Got it.
Yeah. Which makes it really, really hard to present monsters who are normally like good creatures that are ichor poisoned, because if they get too close, if they get closer to one of their pack or their grouping than they are to the party, they will hostile on their allies.
Well, you know, just putting this out there, but Kalora also went hostile on a sacred beast at one point recently, so...
Yeah, well, Kalora does not... Kalora has no fucks to give. That's the problem. Is... Kalora wants to kill this one dragon and then is happy to see herself out.
Of the planet.
Yeah, so saying, I'm coming for you next was not a threat. It was a promise.
Yeah, it was. But then there's oaths and things and such.
And honestly, with the time it's going to take to get to the White Woman and to do all that, Kalora can level up significantly enough. I mean, I've looked at Tiamat's fucking stat block. The levels that'll happen between now and then are more than enough that Kalora can walk in and be like, I'm not scared of you.
Which Tiamat?
5e. 5e standard. But either way, at the right level, a character can walk in, especially with barbarian levels, and be like, I'm immune to being frightened.
Oh, I get that part.
I'm not scared of you. You might eat me, but I'm not scared of you. Yeah, it's like the one sound I didn't want to hear.
The Ding Fraser done?
Yeah.
Yeah, this book helped me overhaul her, and I went a little bit more old school with my Tiamat.
Yeah.
3rd edition. 3rd edition in the Book of Legendary Dragons, or the Book of Dragon Lore. They gave you a description of Tiamat, if I remember correctly, that was much closer to what the Dragonlance novels described than what the stat block for 5e is, which is kind of pathetic for a god. Like, I could believe that for, like, an avatar of a deity on a plane, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But as to a deity itself, fuck no, dude. Wimpy. You're right. This staff, a Tarrasque could kick its ass. That's terrible. No. A level 20 character can beat a level 20 monk can walk up, punch the Tarrasque in the face, and knock it out.
Yeah. Gotta make a quick announcement on my devices at home. Kiddo is testing boundaries, which is normal.
Mm-hmm. In 3 seconds, your technology will implode.
Don't be a dick. And you'll have an awesome evening.
Is that what their Lex is about to tell them?
That's what the whole house is about to tell them.
Don't be a dick and you'll have an awesome evening.
Mm-hmm.
See, and that's a fair rule. It can apply to adults, it can apply to kids.
Don't be a dick. I think, as it's 5 o'clock, we might do a quick bio break.
That sounds like a plan. We will be back in a few minutes. We're going to go do the bio break thing, and yeah. So please enjoy some nice music from Lo-Fi Geek. They've started putting out the holiday stuff, and I like spooky season. You guys should be really happy that I gave you till this long. But when I'm waking up to frost and watching the steam rise off the rooftops every morning, it's time for that winter jingly music.
Yep.
I don't celebrate Christ's Mass, so sorry guys, you're not going to hear me say that.
Early announcement, I do have a one-shot for Christmas.
Yay, Yuletide escapades.
Yes.
Meow. I know, I'm not the host with the most, Malkin. We've heard you.
Mockingbird is now the most successful American play in Broadway history. Richard Thomas is Atticus Finch in Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird.
Coming to the Holt Center December 1st through 3rd. Tickets at holtcenter.org.
Alright, when we's back.
Minor crisis dealt with. Very minor.
Yeah. And where were we in our conversation of fuckery most foul?
We were talking about Kalora's potential future and the interactions with the White Woman and Tiamat.
Oh yeah. Turns out that third edition Tiamat was a beast.
Yeah.
So I went and altered those stat blocks for 5th.
Nice.
Because I looked at 5th edition stat blocks and I'm sitting here going, Larice could take that by herself in 2 spells. Well, more than 2 spells, but still. Mainly because Larice can actually stay out of range for a good number of sorcery points and still hit it.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out sorcery points are only are limited to a per spell, not a number per turn.
Mm-hmm.
So elongate plus empower is something you can do.
Yeah.
Elongated empowered fireball 3 times, direct to Tiamat. Or no, what is it? It's elongated quickened fireball. At that point, you just did enough damage to knock it in 1 turn in 6 seconds down by at least half its hit points.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? Constitution save time, motherfucker. Don't fail.
Right? Don't fail.
And if you happen to have a Hexblade in your group who banes them so they have disadvantage on Constitution saves.
Right.
Either way, I let players stagger it if you take half the hit points in one shot. It staggers. It doesn't. It loses its movement, and it might be knocked down depending on a percentile. Well, I try to incorporate real physics into the game. You guys are pretty good okay with science doesn't work that way as a reason for when I say no to something.
Yep.
Also because science does work that way is also an answer at times.
Advantage on a roll to put a halter on a wyvern because I correctly listed how I tied my knots.
Or you guys haven't got this one yet, but there's a way to get advantage on rolls for doing things like superheating something and then super cooling it really quickly and hitting it.
Mm-hmm.
Want to break a metal door? That'll do it.
With a quickness.
If you can get it hot enough, yes, and I will put a damage threshold on how hot that is.
Just melt the door.
Wouldn't melt the door. Like, it's how you get through an adamantine door at times. You can get it hot enough, and then you can get it cold enough fast enough.
Yep.
Adamantine being a metal that holds heat, though. Have fun.
Right. Gotta make it brittle.
Exactly. Improperly tempering metal makes it brittle and slivering. Now, because you're the one who's barbarian and warrior, you'd probably be the one handling the ram that hits it afterwards. That would be a poor mistake. Let's just think about this. Adamantine door, super heated, super cooled, brittle metal. Have you ever seen the crystalline structure of adamantine?
Mm-hmm.
It's very jagged and dagger-like. So, worst thing you could possibly hit it with? Your head. At that point, you're making a dex save at disadvantage. Why? Because you willfully did this stupid shit.
Right. Like last week, all my important rolls I made sure Thomas could see, just in case it went my way.
A couple times it did.
The D percentile, man. 89 and 93.
Yep. Roll this at a disadvantage. Oh, well, that didn't work. Like,
Thomas, you're seeing this, right?
I mean, I was trying to throw y'all curveballs, too. And I did, but I like I could have. Like,
Yep.
if some shit had gone sideways and somebody rolled wrong in a couple places.
I mean, that nat one right out the gate was hilarious.
Without that nat 1, you would not have a brand in your chest right now. I said I needed somebody to fail. Somebody nat 1 did.
I did it like I just picked up the dice and went, bastard. I'm number 1.
And then put promptly on top of the jail. By the way, it has been out in the yard. It's been chained to the roof ever since. It hasn't even been given shelter in the jail.
That's funny.
Honestly, I think it's because it should be paroled. That die did exactly what I wanted it to.
It'll get a chance this coming Sunday. It'll get its opportunity for redemption.
If it rolls another natural 1 at that perfect moment for me,
I'll just give it to you.
yeah,
You
I was
just
gonna
have
say,
the dice.
I'm just gonna take it. I was gonna say that one's mine. At that point, it's DM friendly. I will put it in the box of many die. You know, for players who show up and don't have their own.
Yep.
Yes, some of my dice in my box of many dice are strictly there because nobody else wants to use them. Either because they're hard to read or they roll shitty. Like, this one rolls pretty even. 18s, 4s, 8s, 3s. Not bad for everything. 6s. Yeah, a 6 seems like a shitty roll. Unless you're level 15. And going up against a horde of commoners. Barbarian plus cleave action plus horde of commoners equals lawnmower. I miss the whirlwind strike from 3rd edition. Like in the combat maneuvers and feats that you could get. Is the universe improving?
Slowly. Slowly. Minor control issue problem.
You poor unfortunate soul.
Yeah, and apparently the landlord's been by.
What does your landlord's sexuality have to do with anything? They've been by. Well, if it's something that they've been, I'm sure it's been for a while.
Yep. It's always something.
Of course. That's why we call it life.
Right?
It's a game that you can't ever win. Though some people are trying to get ahead and some people are just trying to get some head.
Right? Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to next week's Nox and the week after's Aylwood.
The week after's Aylwood will session 0 some shit, and we totally have got to figure out a way to get Pudgy Cat tied in for that. Because I know you're like me on the whole, it doesn't matter about party balance. I'm a DM, it's my job to party balance, let the players have fun, and we'll write a great story. I mean, it'd be great if I always had a healer, a fucking range damager, a tank, and an up-close damager. You know? Like, the end-all be-all is some kind of caster or ranger, some kind of healer, some kind of tank, and some kind of ass-whooper up close. That is like a perfectly balanced party of 4. The fact is, if somebody offers to play the tank once, they normally get hoodwinked into playing the tank every game session and get stuck with paladins and warriors or fighters and barbarians, and then they start getting creative and figure out how to do things like tank a mage, right? Want to see something fun? Let's talk about a wizard who's an elf so that they have longsword proficiency. Well, now you got a wizard with a longsword who can use a bow. Can't use armor, but there's a shield spell, and there's a mage armor spell, and they stack. So you just stack your shields and your repels and your build walls, and all of a sudden nobody fucks with that mage. I soloed a mage in 2nd edition. As a result, some fucked up shit happened. Like the illusion spell Disguise Self, as originally written in 2nd edition, was something that would make it so you could make a normal humanoid appear to look like a dragon. As long as nobody poked it, you were golden.
Right.
So, level 1 wizard, about to get robbed by a bunch of bandits on the highway. Disguise Self starts flinging sling bullets out of its chest. Out of the illusion.
Right.
These guys can't hit it because they have to hit me and they're aiming for the dragon, so I get a bonus to my fucking armor class. That's actually the most important part about D&D from a DM's point of view or a player's point of view. If you're a player, know your character. If you're the DM, know enough about all the characters to be able to basically make it so they really are puppets on your strings when you need them to be. And then give them enough free will that they can fuck it all up. Guess that's the one way where being DM is being God. Totally puppets on strings whenever we're needed to be. But for the most time, we have enough free will to fuck it all up. I know I do. You look like you need to be not.
Yeah, I'm waiting on one more update. Adulthood.
Adults in the hood.
See, I have a halfling. I have a halfling who is just learning how to run their own guild. And is having a little bit of a problem with the current manager trying to teach them effective means of gaining said control.
See, and me, I'm a tiefling. Got stuck in a plane where my horns and tail are gone. Like my naked monk is a tiefling running around.
I love that so much.
Blue tiefling.
I love that.
Blue tiefling, but the thaumaturgy branch.
Nice.
I went for the ash tone skin versus the oranges that they recommend, and so, thumb my nose at the rules.
Uh-huh.
Because it's D&D, and you're supposed to thumb your nose at the rules that don't really affect much.
Uh-huh.
And who's to say that this people plus this people didn't do this? Who's to say that maybe her mama wasn't black, so when she mixed with somebody who was orange, they ended up with an ash-colored child or a gray kid, you know?
Right.
We call it ethnic diversity where I grew up. It's on a private game, so I can play the character looking however I want it to, and nobody can say anything. Besides, I love playing characters that are green or purple or pink or some odd color. What colors can goblins be? That reminds me. Because I know what a pink dragon does, by the way. Did you know there was one?
Mm-hmm.
They're scary. Pink Dragonborn. Actually, no, I've got some... I actually need to add 2 new lines of Dragonborn at Shade, and I need to write stat blocks on Shade and Umbral Dragonborn. You want to help? Because they just need to be PC playable for modular purposes. But both Umbral and Shade creatures do exist in the Fell-touched lands of Nox Vitalia. Umbral orcs are a thing, so I need to put an Umbral half-orc class in. You ever seen the difference between an Umbral orc and an orc?
I can't say I have, but I can put it in my mind's eye.
Yeah, it's like giving an orc way too many steroids. In all the flavors of Flintstones vitamins.
Right.
Yeah, that wasn't conditioning us to take our pills every day before they started realizing the population needed to be medicated. Anyway, nope, that's not D&D related. I can keep that shit to myself.
You know, I had a Flintstones vitamin recently, and oh my god, I can't understand why I thought they were so cool as a kid.
Because they looked like your favorite cartoon characters before we realized how much of a bigot Fred Flintstone was.
That was nasty.
Yes, but we were all conditioned to think that they were the best possible thing. They do have a good 50% of your daily requirement of iron and did help cut back on anemia in the 80s.
That they did.
But they also convinced us all to be conditioned to take your pills every day.
Yeah, I am blessed. And I don't mind talking about this in a gamer sphere, especially because big creators like Markiplier have. You know, I don't mind taking my ADHD med because I have a doctor who is a minimalist when it comes to medication.
I think that you're lucky.
Oh, I am. Definitely.
No, I think you're lucky because you're medicatable. I'm not going to go into the particulars because that's just not something that anybody in my particular situation should put out into international whatever.
Yep.
But my mental health issues are, let's just say, very poorly understood and not medicatable. Yes, I was playing with the smoke on the incense stick. Don't judge me. That was the update you were waiting on.
Yep, and it looks like I might be able to handle this. Looks like Maylene just needs somewhere to point a bunch of energy. Parenting tip. Sometimes your kids just need a direction to point a bunch of extra energy.
See? If they could behave themselves, or if they could keep themselves in check well enough for the moms to be willing to allow them to do it, they could end up playing fucking Final Fantasy with me. I honestly don't see that as being a problem. What are you doing? I'm gonna go play Final Fantasy with John. Okay, well that means that you know that the person, at least one of the people that they're partied with while they're playing, is not a creeper. I'm going to keep the other creepers off of same said child. The Nisu does not have to deal with this.
Right?
What do you mean? Oh, no, you're a creeper, and they're 12. How do you know? I'm their uncle. No, like, legitimately, I can go talk to their moms now.
Huh?
What do you mean? I'll just text them. It would give them a safe place to be able to game.
Mm-hmm.
And if I built a guild, then, well, yeah, it would be an RP guild, but I'm going to keep ERP out if I can. Look, I get it. You guys want to go get a room by yourself, all private, and get all erotic about things one-on-one. That's your business. That ain't nobody's. But publicly, no. The fact is that I want to keep it PG-13 because we do have a YouTube channel. I am putting that name on the free company when I created on Final Fantasy. And I don't need a bunch of horny perverts coming in and trying to screw shit up being creepers.
Right? Right. I mean, we are...
Horny perverts are allowed to be horny perverts. Don't get me wrong. Don't knocking their ooh babies, but still.
Yeah. I mean, at any rate, even though our channel is definitely not marketed towards kids and isn't going to feature kids in the YouTube Kids variety, we do want to make a space where young gamers feel safe growing.
Exactly, and to be more clear about that even, yeah, some weird things, some lewd things happen in my games. There are fades to black, there are talks of going into bra and ordering, I want a bathtub full of red-headed boobies.
Right. Yeah, and that should be something, you know, honestly, parents of YouTube, would you prefer your 13-year-old, because that is our group's age limit, your 13-year-old explore these ideas and feelings and experiences of being a new teenager in their D&D group where they're not going to get in any trouble, or in their high school where them and other people might get in serious trouble.
Or your bills might go up. I mean, teen pregnancy is a thing.
Exactly.
Oh, and even if you say, well, I'd let them get an abortion if they want it. Well, if they don't, then you've got 18 years of helping them, because they're not old enough to be a parent yet.
Right? Creating a safe space to explore things that even as religious parents you might have problems with your children talking about, in a space that has no consequences, is going to be better in the long run, especially for those of you who are religious. If they can come home to their church-going life after exploring these ideas.
That kind of religious.
Yeah.
I was about to say, wait, I'm very religious, actually.
Yeah, I'm speaking specifically to the Judeo-Christians. You know, if your kids can go to D&D and explore thoughts and ideas that don't maybe mesh with your family, and then come back and experience the same love and acceptance they've always gotten, I'm assuming, before they had these thoughts and ideas and questions, then you're probably going to end up with them answering the questions the way you would like them to.
Also, just my own personal view on this. As ironically a member of the pagan clergy and a parent who realized that they didn't want their children to have to deal with the judgmentalism that they grew up with, I'm just going to put this out there. Many, many centuries ago at this point, a very old, very wise Celt by the name of Telsene the First of the Radiant Brow coined a phrase that one god has many faces. This is a piece of wisdom that I have yet to see disproven.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think that a man born in BC Middle Eastern Jerusalem, Iraq, Iran area of the Fertile Crescent of Mesopotamia, i.e. Yeshua of Nazareth, aka Jesus Christ, was a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white dude, then I just have one question for you. How? I post memes about that crap. People can. My name is actively on here. If people searched me on YouTube, they could find me.
Uh-huh.
If I don't get a message from them asking me why they're, or telling me that they're adding me and who they are and where they got it from, though, I tend to decline. It's just a personal thing. I've had way too many assholes in my inbox.
Yeah.
There's no reason to be there. One of them actually messaged me to cuss me out for saying that I was pro-actual life because I believe in a woman's right to choose, thus I am pro-choice.
Mm-hmm.
Fact is, I'm trying to lower the death rate. And believe it or not, legalize a woman's right to choose increases the death, or lowers the death rate far more than taking it away.
Mm-hmm.
So, my stance is I am a pro-actual life. Fuck your deceptive labels. Under the current labels, I am so far pro-choice that I'll ice pick the man who tries to stop you. I'm pro postnatal abortion. If your kid hits 13 years old and is entirely too stupid to breathe, I believe you have the right to strap dynamite to him and throw him off a bridge.
Yeah. Like, yeah, no, we don't need you in the gene pool. Something went wrong there. I mean, heck.
Now, please keep in mind that I reserve postnatal abortion for very specific cases, you know, like your kid that you've tried to correct 40 different times for torturing animals, being brutal to other children, actually committing acts of torture, you know, typical pre-serial killer behaviors. I wholeheartedly think those parents should be commended if they blow their child up versus actually letting them mature to psychosis.
Right.
This is a personal view. Please do not judge our channel based on my mouth.
I mean, everybody is allowed to have their own perspective of, like, what would make the world a better place.
And honestly, knowing that much about me, and you've known that for long enough, it's part of what it does tie into game stuff.
Yeah.
At me as a player, you know that there's a certain point where, especially in the case of Larice or Joie de Vivre,
Mm-hmm.
if you tell them that they have to commit this atrocity over here, but it's going to level the playing field perpetually, the only thing that you're going to have to do is clear a path between them and whatever button they have to push. Like, what's Larice's main, okay, I'll do anything to have it accomplished button?
What I can tell, an aversion to needing to fly anywhere, and balance.
Balance, actually. She's even getting over the need to fly thing because there's no balance in her aversion being so severe she is part foul. She knows she's poultry in the grander scheme of the multiverse.
Uh-huh. Though I will always relish the loses consciousness in dragon saddle.
It's the first time she'd ever flown.
Or
Teleporting's different.
Oh shit! Moment. Larice cannot ride a horse.
Nope. Animal handling check of fail.
Nope.
I think I not won that.
You did.
And I owned it like a champ.
But you made your dex save when the horse just stopped.
Yeah, like an 18, so it was all golden.
Whee! I'm okay.
At which point the DM's going, that was possibly the most beautiful fuck up I've seen in a while. Okay, I'm moving on. Next one.
Right.
Like, seriously, everybody always goes, oh, natural 20, oh, natural 20, oh, natural 20. Look, don't get me wrong. When it's I nat 20 on that, what would you like, how would you like to do this moment? Then I am down. Then a nat 20 is the biggest hard on the planet. But you know, I'm a story type of person. The stories are what get me, and it's not the successes that define those moments in our lives. It's our fuck-ups. It's our failures. And Nat 1 on a horse. Larice still will not get on a horse. She rides in carts or next to the carts ever since that. Do you realize this?
Mm-hmm.
She has not gotten on a horse. The only reason she will get on that dragon is because of the dragon's saddle being specially designed so that even if she passes out, she's stuck.
Yep. Her dragon's saddle specifically is designed with seatbelts in mind.
Seatbelt's nothing. You mummify her from the waist down into the saddle. She's just gonna waist cincher and like a membrane across the legs so they stay nice and warm and toasty. It's awesome. Dragon's silver anyway, so it helps keep from frostbite on the talons. And barrel rolls mean nothing to her anymore. The good news is flying with the dragon under those circumstances has helped her face her fear when she's conscious for it.
When she's conscious for it.
Well, you know.
But your dragon companion is on board with you.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And please note, the dragon companion has not left on board since.
Right. Just hangs out. He's a dragon.
Does what dragon wants.
Has a humanoid form. Tends to just go with that.
That's because they know that the probability of their bonded person wanting to be on their back and 100 feet in the air is very low.
But is dragon, so doesn't really.
Yeah, okay, so I don't get demeaned for the very long periods of time with this particular bond. Though one of these days they are going to walk up to me and go, I need you to fly me somewhere. At which point the dragon's probably gonna go, who's dying?
Right? Who's dying? And do I get to participate?
Who's dying? Who's bleeding to death that doesn't need to be? What's wrong? Why are you? Huh? Excuse me. Who are you and what did you do with Larice?
And occasionally, we will take side steps back to foodies.
Oh yeah, but that I see being more like the Mighty Nine thing, where we'll just kind of jump back there.
Yep.
Because, I mean, these guys are building a resort. They can pretty much clean out anything on the planet if they want to, and they're intelligent enough and have lived through enough crap that they have the clout of being god slayers.
Mm-hmm.
Which, it's one thing if you're a dragon slayer. Say that you're a known dragon slayer and you walk into a pub, somebody might try and prove themselves by picking a fight.
Mm-hmm.
When you're a confirmed god slayer and the goddess's parents vouch for it and pay you and allow you to hollow out their child and turn them into a resort, pirates don't like fucking with you. We should technically have much worse security issues than we do. The fact of the matter is, I'm pretty sure half of the illegal underworld is scared to death, and the other half isn't well enough capable to take care of it.
You know, really, the cult of Ahsoka is your biggest threat at the moment. Though your face went, I'm like, there's somebody in your house.
Excuse me?
and Meridian just solidly handled him. I gave her the roll for it, and she not 20'd it.
Yeah. Which was followed immediately by the look on your face when we all went down into the pit.
Alright, we're doing this.
Everybody's in aggro. So, I'm going to do this, and any of you who are smart will completely forget about this idea and leave.
Yep.
The rest of you are welcome to try and stop me, but you're going to die down here.
Mm-hmm.
And the intimidation roll succeeded.
Yes. Yeah. That whole underground community has quite some depth to it, which we can totally roleplay on little side steps back to foodies.
Yeah, those poor people, they saw the killer of their god show up and go, so,
You want to show up at my house?
you come into my home. You cause me great infractions. And you expect us, as viable individuals, to accommodate these trespasses without any repercussions. I'm going to blow you back to the Stone Age. And get thanked by the city and paid for every one of your holy symbols.
Yep.
And I hate No Shave November. Because I have a chin-to-chin caterpillar at this point. He's all woolly.
It's okay. Looks good on you.
Looks terrible with eyeliner and makeup, though. Like, bearded ladies of the world, and I know you exist out there, there's one here in Eugene, and she totally just naturally grows a very beautiful, luxurious beard. And she just owns it. I completely empathize with you. They need to make, like, makeups designed for persons with facial hair. Tooting your own horn, I think.
A little bit, yeah.
Cool.
My halfling has made friends with the big friendly giant.
Oh, good. That means that the tiefling doesn't get to eat halfling for this week. This week.
This week. Pro tip. Your children are learning to be adults and humans at all from scratch. And that's your job.
Teach them to play D&D, it helps.
Mm-hmm.
There's guidelines for the type of human you want to be in there. And the type you don't want to be. And you can experiment with which one's for you. And which one is which.
Did you know back in the early times of D&D, the Golden Girls were the format for the, like, ideal party? And that makes me so happy.
Makes sense. What's Sophia, the wizard?
Oh, she better be.
Or the cleric?
Blanche.
Bard.
Bard all the way.
Dorothy's your paladin, obviously.
Yep.
What the fuck was Rose?
Rose was your standard barbarian. Fun-loving, kind of dumb. Very amenable until you give her a really good reason not to be.
Okay, just putting this out there, but I have never seen somebody play a fun-loving, kind of dumb barbarian outside of Travis Willingham.
Oh, I've played fun-loving, kind of dumb barbarians.
One of these days I'm going to play a fun-loving, really dumb barbarian.
Yes.
Minimal score set of intelligence.
Yep, my minimum score on intelligence is a 4.
6.
Mine's a 4 just because sometimes it's kind of fun to watch players go, God damn it, I wish I hadn't done that to myself.
6 because I put it in intelligence, and below 6 you can't speak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And you get to watch me doing that for every session for months.
See, the fun part is just like the barbarian. Oh, no. I mean, he has a voice, but he's mute. You need to understand this. Kind of like my godson, right?
He knows like 7 words. What are they? Fuck. Beer. Dead. Food. Nom.
It's like my godson,
Blech.
Ryder. Ryder speaks almost exclusively in
See, I'm not allowed to do that. I'd drive you nuts.
But it's a complex language.
But if he's got like a... But I would also give that same barbarian, because I'd only dump stat intelligence. Secondary, if I really rolled low, would be wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
So they'd be very charismatic, very wise, very dumb. Can't speak. Really. I mean, they know a few words, but not enough to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Can't read.
Yeah.
What do you want, Fat? What do you want? Beer.
It would have done Kalora
Food.
good to try to read the contract, by the way. Kalora can't read.
What's her intelligence?
Her intelligence is a 9,
She can read.
but she never learned. She was too busy surviving fires!
She would have learned by now.
And she's got a little bit, but
Enough she could have read that contract. It's a contract written by a god. Interesting thing about those, the words mean exactly what you think, or the words translate directly into your mind. It's not a viable contract unless both parties understand what they're signing on to. And when speaking directly into one's mind, what's written on the paper doesn't really matter. It could literally just be spatterings of blood in a Rorschach symbol.
yeah, no. Kalora cannot...
Which is ironically kind of what Kalora's contract looks like.
Yeah. Kill the dragon. Be extra strong.
Kill the dragon, be extra strong. But yeah, we're not going to give you any spoilers, but Inaya and I are plotting as to what's going to happen to their character now.
Yeah.
Because I offered a DM's dirty deal, as it was. I get something that will make my life minutely easier. They get something that will make their life quite a bit easier, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And a new road to explore on an old class.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because, by the way, if you do truly decide to go that route, there are no paths of redemption under the tutelage of Tiamat.
Yeah, no. No, I am putting my redemption paladins to one side at the moment.
And they'll be there.
Oh yeah, and there will be fantastic one-shots for playing redemption paladins in.
Yeah. And we were discussing paladins, and I think we discussed that I showed you that one, and you were like, yeah, that has it written all over it for what you were talking about.
Yep. Yeah, no.
So, surprises coming up in Nox Vitalia, starting this week and carrying over to 3 weeks from now, and so on and so forth. And, beyond that, I will be streaming Final Fantasy when I have time and space to do so. Pick that up whenever you like. I do give my basic server and data center address, and you're welcome to private message me or send me mail via Moogle to get a hold of me if you're interested in hanging out, running dungeons and quests and things like that while we're live.
Yep.
Fair warning, you're not going to get that kind of a response off of my main. Because my main I'm currently working on finishing out. Like, I just got into Shadowbringer, and then I've got Endwalker to get through. I just finished the second expansion. So, there's a lot of information on that. Either way, actually, I'd say it's probably about time to wind this up, as nobody left any questions, though we did get Pudgy.
Right? I don't think he ever came back from his cigarette break, though.
I think he got hijacked if he isn't back.
Yeah.
So, we will see you guys at least on Sunday, depending on how scheduling and things work. I may stream some Final Fantasy later in the week. I might actually get on with my main at some point or another, since it is on the same server. I have alts on multiple servers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a nerd. What do you want from me? But either way, as always, we love you guys. Thank you for joining us. Please like, share, subscribe. Tell people about us. I mean, we're just a bunch of nerds, but we try to hang out, have a good time, and be friendly nerds. And as always, live long and prosper, and in the infamous words of Pudgy, bye!
Bye.